All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning here in San Antonio, at least. It's summertime again. We had spring for just a little bit last week, but the heat is back on again. I am joined by Dr. Veronica Brooks and Mr. George Green here on this edition of Texas in Color Friday style. I was going to say Wednesday, but it's Friday. I don't want Wednesday back. I can't go back and then go forward again. That's
I
not
know
going
you
to
don't
work.
want Wednesday back.
Man, as I was telling Veronica, Mr. Green, that I have a bad toothache that's been going back and forth. It's sort of better now, but I mean, I have not been feeling good since last Saturday. And
Wow.
but I'm hanging in there. Veronica said, "I can see it in your arm. I can see it. Yeah, and I can feel it too."
Yeah,
But
right. Yeah, because you not, yeah, you my bro. So I know, yeah, I know you. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So
yeah,
so
nothing good.
But we going I'm gonna push through. It doesn't. It's at the point now. I must have knew I was coming on live, so it sort of subsided. But you'll see when it shows his ugly head. But anyway, let's talk about Tuesday and what happened. Surprises. Everybody's dumbfounded. They try and figure out what's going on. What direction is the country going? Is he gonna go by what he say he's gonna do? And if he does, people are texting me, we're all in trouble if he does this. If they get rid of um, Department of Education, they want to abolish the one that does with the meat to make sure FD, yeah, and FEMA, and they want to get rid of
Yeah,
NOAA,
yep.
all that
Yeah,
stuff that
it's
they
a lot of stuff. The Social Security, a
yeah,
lot of
yeah, and
stuff that I
Medicaid,
read in the project
yeah.
2025.
See,
There's a list of things in there. There's a whole lot of things in there. And that's what they already have implemented anyway. They've already started that,
but
and it's already a lot of stuff in different
yeah, but see,
countries.
but
I mean, different states.
my question on this is this: there's protocols that's in place that should be in
Hmm.
place. How is he going to break those protocols to do what he want to do to the country? And Congress is still up in the air now. We don't know who's controlling that yet. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of things that's out there.
Yes.
I was always told control the controllables, but this is sort of different than controlling. This is sort of like, personally, I'm
Yes.
retired. I'm not at ease on what they say they want to do. I'm not at ease
Yeah.
whatsoever. I accept the results of the election, but I'm uneased in another part of, are we going to wake up one morning and things are going to change? My opinion is this. This is only my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Is this going to be a gradual thing, or is it going to be one great big swoop and we're going to sit back and figure out what the hell just went on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I look at, one thing I look at a person's character. I look at everything and I watched him at his with his live when he talked live. I looked at everything about him. And then I saw how he actually just operates. Actually, his campaign team was getting frustrated with him because he couldn't, follow that because he just does what he wants to do. That's just his character. That's just how he is. So when I think about him getting in there, I'm sure, he'll do whatever he wants to do. And I'm sure it won't be he's not like really to me, for the people. He just picks and just do what he feels like doing. Whoever he's angry with, he goes after. That's how I see it, because I watched how he works and how he does things. So that's how I feel about him. But they already implemented so many things already, and they're already in 20 states with the abortion ban. And then because he has the people that are helping him, and then there's people that are afraid of him because, I believe they have something on them and things like that. But actually, we have to just really keep going on in all, just in all those things. That's why I was saying I'm looking at his character and how he operates.
Okay.
That's when you study a person and see how they are, and believe, when they tell you something, believe them. Like Maya Angelou said, you believe them when they say how they are.
Yeah.
So I see all of it. I see all of it.
What is your thoughts on that, Mr. Green?
Well, and I think she's right. I mean, she's right to a point. And first, good morning to everyone. It is a beautiful morning, and as I said last week, the world is still going to turn as to what the direction our president elect will take. He's an older guy. Uh, he's not going to change much from from where he's been. So his mo is his mo, and he's going to stay that route.
Mhm.
I believe, as I said before, he comes from a corporate environment, and corporate environment works differently than the government sector. He's going to continue to conduct himself as if he is the head of a corporation. Dr. Brooks, he's already starting to formulate his team. You can start with the foundation with his chief of staff pick. He's
Mhm.
so that we know. Some of the other outliers that we can speculate on, uh, I think Kennedy and turning Kennedy loose, as he says, with I think it was the USDA. Uh,
Yes.
Yes, it is. The health, he's dealing with all the health and all those things like that. The vaccines, yes. Mhm.
the vaccines, yes, and the FEMA and the Department of Education, all of those, it will it, it will be yet determined. People I've talked to said there is a lot of fat in these government agencies, and whoever he picks or who his picks are that are tasked with going out and trimming some of the fat, as he says, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if y'all were here when uh, uh, Bush was governor of Texas then, George
Mm.
Bush, and then
Yes.
he opted to go run for president, and he won. And his replacement was Rick Perry, uh, and there was a lot of government fat in the state agencies in Texas, and Rick Perry, he made or sent out a directive to
Mhm.
cut the fat out of Texas state agencies, and he did. And I mean, I'm thinking it was like about a third, 30% reduction in force, RIF, if as they call it, and it was a lot of people that had to find jobs. I was one of those, so I'm
Wow.
part of that reduction in force. And so, if he does what he says he's going to do, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the economy. It's going to hurt Washington, D.C. for sure. Washington, D.C. is a lot like Austin in that you have, you know, practically everything around is a government agency.
Hmm.
So it's going to be painful if that's what he does. Yet you see the stock market jump like it did.
Hmm.
Uh, Friend called yesterday. He had a bunch of these bitcoins that he invested in some time ago, and
Hmm.
he's a rich man now. He says
Hmm.
so. Folks like that,
Hmm.
they're going to be smiling from ear to ear.
Yes.
Now, the stock market, that's a fact. The
Hmm.
the the chief of staff, that's a fact. The rest is kind of speculation as to what will happen. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, I
That's a good one.
I'm gonna jump in on this, and
Because the
I'm gonna
stock market
yeah.
did. Because I was looking at all mine, and even when she was running, it kept going up and down. We had a little low, but then when it was, it was all, I mean, it's going up. Yeah, it's working good for those that have invested. I can be happy for that. Yes,
Yeah,
I
but
can.
my point is this. I'm gonna hurt people's feelings when I get ready to say. Because first of all, I don't give a damn about the rich. I don't give a
Mm,
damn about the stock market. I don't give a
mhm,
damn about all this stuff that's going on. We need to talk about the middle class, the
mm.
poor. They are not benefiting a bit of any of this BS that's going on, not whatsoever. If anything, they're
Mm.
getting stepped on.
Actually, they
They
are.
are getting stepped on with not with one foot, with both feet with boots on.
I,
You
I
just keep
think
on
they
paying
don't
you just
know.
keep on paying our taxes and we'll keep the rich right where they at. That is a bunch of BS. We were not
Mhm.
brought up like this. Not whatsoever. There's no compassion. There's nothing. It's like it's greed, 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 greed. When is
I
that
agree.
greed going to trickle down to where it's supposed to be at? And you're right, they are cutting the fat, but they're also
Mhm.
putting some of that fat in their own damn pockets. When is that
Oh,
going to
most
stop?
definitely.
When is that going to stop? Because I'm fed up. I'm sorry. I'm fed up of hearing what they're going to do. They haven't done jack shit in 9 years. Excuse my expression. He had the first
Mhm.
4 years to do what he's doing right now. What they said that now he know what he did wrong back then. He's got people now is going to do right. Do right by what? Do right
Mhm.
by us, by the middle class, or do right by his elite staff, like Elon Musk. That man don't need to be in the government anywhere. He's got government contracts. Right there is a conflict of interest. But yet we letting this BS go on and on and on. When is it going to stop? I'm just pissed off. I'm mad hearing about what's going to happen. No, nothing's going to happen with us. The middle class is going to be locked out like it always has been locked out and stepped
And
on
before.
and not listened to.
Exactly. Ron, that's true. And I calmed down a whole lot, so I'm grateful. But
I haven't.
I'm still because it it, there's too many things that happen, for me, and something is still not right to me because for one, first thing, the first thing when they left her name off of the ballot and then they had to go and fix it, they left Kamala Harris' name off the ballot. Then they went and they were moving the ballot boxes. Then they were burning the ballots. Then
Yeah.
they had the bomb threats, and then they come out, for the precincts, and then some of those voting precincts have to close down. And then on top of that, I mean, people going in there and then they're starting fights and all this. It's just, I mean, it's too many things that ain't adding up. And then I looked at the graphics, I looked at the data, I looked at what, how they said who voted, what voted, and just it ain't adding up to me. It's just it's something wrong. And I know when I said about the character, and I said his character, because we knows when he opens his mouth he lies so much. And I look at all those things and I feel like they did something, because when they found out the threats were coming from Russia, Putin is his buddy. That's his friend. So my thing is, it's so many things there. We can't really just sit there and just let that happen and go by, like that, because it's too many things in the pot for me. It's too many things. And when I look at I got so many texts. I got so many calls. There was people crying, and I'm like pissed off. And I have to be calm because I have to build and encourage them. Because it's and letting them know if we have to. We know whatever happens. We're gonna be. I believe we'll be okay, whatever happens, because we've been through a lot of things throughout life. We already been through it.
Yeah.
Even our ancestors show us how they came through. But the thing is, when even going through and looking at all that and how everybody was really just upset. The rich, yes, Ron, I agree. It's a bunch of greed. But after two, even when I looked at The Apprentice, that's about Donald Trump. That was the thing that he didn't want to get out. And I suggest you guys watch it. And then you'll see why Donald Trump is like he is. You'll see exactly what the things that he does and who trained him. You'll see exactly why he's like that. And then that's the part where I think there's fear that set in from people because he does not care. He doesn't care who he damages. He doesn't care who he hurt. That's why a lot of the middle class and then the poor, it's just too. They're gonna be damaged, and like I said, it's too much stuff, too many things there in the air that has not filtered from me yet because I have too many questions. Even when they were paying the people, when they were back, they had those people in the U-Hauls going from house to house, telling them to vote, for Trump, going in the rural areas. But I have to give it to him. They had a good strategy. They had a good strategy of what they were doing, but I don't know if along the way what they did, if they cheated and added their strategy. It's just too many things there for me. And if he goes through with all of it, and as I read, like I told you, when I first read that Project 2025, I know what the plot and the plan is. And I know that it's just straight up, it's just white supremacist to me. But it's just all those things factored in. And then people, this is another thing. I know I have so many things going on right now, but they were talking about, well, God wanted, I said, no. God would not dare do anything like that. That's like belittling God to me. But we can all do things in flesh to make things happen. Because sometimes things, when we want it to happen, we can push so hard to make it happen. But I know God has the last say so in everything. And then that one thing is that just like Vice President Kamala Harris had said, when we fight, we win. And I still stand on that. And all these things, those are the things that happen just with all the ballots. And then we're looking at the middle class, all these things, and the poor people. When he sits up here, they were asking me these questions, you guys. I have to give an answer because I know people look up to me. 34 felony counts. He's a rapist. He's a racist. It's so everything is there. And then he's running for president. So I have to explain, the three little things that we have to run for president. And that's just, you have to be 35 years old. You have to have been born a natural citizen in America. And then you have to been in America, living in the States for 14 years. You can't be living like overseas somewhere. You have to be at least 14 years. That's it. So all of us could run for president. So it's so many things I had to explain to him, Mr. Green. I had to explain so many things to these people, but it's hard to make it make sense. Make it make sense. This man has called her out her name. He called her a bitch. He called her a whore. He called her a cunt. He called her, she's stupid. She's uneducated. She has no qualification. How in the world did people vote for that? So you see the questions that come at me, I was like, oh my God. I said, I had to really get with my team of people because, I had to just like, hey, wait, it ain't over yet. It's not over until we win. That's how I have to look at it.
Yeah.
It's not over until God say it's over.
Well, yes, all the things that you said, Dr. Brooks, that is amazing to hear those stats. And you go back the way the voting, the way it happened, at least from what we can see now, split out by male, female, split. And I thought, with the abortion issue in the mix, surely the women would side with Harris. It didn't happen. There's a lot to analyze with the voting of this United States. My question back to some of my friends, white friends, how can Mexico get a female president and the United States cannot? What is the barrier with all the stats that you named? The abortion, the inflation, the economy, the everything that you mentioned. Where did the people, either somebody didn't vote?
There was a lot of them that showed that they didn't vote.
Right. So something happened there. Was it the women? Was it the Black women, Hispanic women? Was it, where did it go?
Yeah. Because I looked at the numbers and the Black women voted, it was like 91% for Kamala Harris and they had 7% for Trump. In the Black women, even the Black men voted, I forgot. I don't have that list in me. They even did well. And but the Latinos, some voted for Kamala, but there was a lot that voted for Trump.
Yes, that blew me away. Now,
yes,
is that a gender thing? Is that a male thing? Looking at that right there, why did they not? We can only guess, but.
So yeah, so I can, she's the first woman out of all the presidents that had the top qualifications. She's the only one that had that out of all of the presidents then through history. When you go back and check, she even had more than Obama. And so she was very well qualified for the position, but here it comes again for us as a Black female. They always throw the white man above us that does not have any education or qualifications above us. And so, yeah, and maybe too, her campaign too probably could have been a little stronger, but she only had what, 3 or 4 months? She killed it.
Yeah.
In 3 or 4 months, she killed it. But they could have probably used more strategy, I would assume. But it's too many things in the air. It's just too many things for me.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna switch gears. And the reason I want to switch gears, Texas itself got slaughtered with the Democrats going for office there. The legislation will start in January. We got to be prepared for that because there's going to be a lot of things on the table. Like,
Yeah, we need another
yeah,
governor.
like we're going to have about the vouchers. That's number one in everybody's eyes. So we need to get together and find out what are they up to, because if they pass a school voucher, from me, what I'm reading right now is that may be $8,000 per family. It costs more than that to get into private schools. Why is he so ready to give these billions of dollars up for vouchers and then criticize the public schools at the same time, but been holding back money since what, 2019? How can the school operate when they're not getting the state money in to operate? But yet they talk about the teachers. Well, we're the lowest. Texas is the lowest paying state for teachers.
Wow.
Let's just get that out there. They're 10,000, sometimes $12,000 behind of other states. But yet, I gotta hand it to these teachers. They went to college. They love teaching. They love doing what they're doing, but we're not compensating them what they should be getting. Then we burden them with all this other stuff that's going on. We got teachers got to buy own school supplies. Why is that? So the legislation will get together. I think sometime, I don't know if it's the first week in January or something coming up, but we need to start reading up all them issues. We need to start seeing what's going on right now. We need to start pushing the agenda to our elected party, whether Republican or Democrat. For this case, it's mainly Republicans that's in the state right now. How are we going to change their minds? I found out a long time ago, everything is okay till one of them family members experience what everybody else experienced. Then it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Their eyes
Exactly.
are not opened up yet to the problem because it hasn't happened to them yet. But mark my word, when it happens to one of them, a light bulb gonna go off and say, we've been like this. It's almost like they stuck in a bubble somewhere and don't realize what's going on out here in the state of Texas with the poor and the middle class. I'm just astounded by how have we been letting this going on for 29 years and not doing nothing about it.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. It's something.
Well,
It's
well,
just something right to me.
well, I'm just gonna. I think this is a good spot to bring up the border issue. You know, the border issue has been going on for more than I am old, but until it got to such a point where it got the attention of the people at the very top, you know, it just kind of trickled on. And once you get the people's attention at the very top, then you'll get some action. And we'll see some action done with the border now. But 50 years ago, 60 years ago, when I was just a kid, nobody even turned a head at the border issue. Brings me to the point that until you get the attention of the people at the very top, will you get some action done at the very bottom? The thing with the vouchers, we're going to have vouchers. And I agree with you, Ron, about the money. And it's going to boil down to money as to how the vouchers will be paid for. But we need more people in the legislature to help make the corrections, if you would, that needs to be made when this voucher thing unfolds. Right now, I don't think we have enough of our people in there. And when I say our people,
Mm-hmm.
our interest
Mm-hmm.
to help manage the rollout of vouchers like they should be. It's not easy to do, but even with the gerrymandering and all that they do, we've got to get our folks people that have our interest in these decision making, legislative making position, not only legislative, judicial, and also in the executive branch. We got to get more people in there, some way, form, or fashion.
Well, when we do get people in there, the first thing saying, you just a crying, bleeding heart liberal. That's what you're gonna say. I've been hearing that BS my whole life. No, what I'm not crying. What I'm trying to tell you is what the people want. If you had never lived it, how can you tell us what we need when you never been there? You never lived it to see what we need. You're going by how you was brought up and this how it should be done. And that's not right. If you are for the people, get out in the damn trenches with the people and see what's going on for real. Don't sit up in an office and just dictate what's going on or have your cronies go out and find some information for some PR work. No, you need to get out there and find out what's going on out there. Because I tell you what, these people are not going to stand for this too much longer. It's getting out of hand. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. I don't care what anybody say. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes. So, um, if you didn't have any bitcoins before 2 days ago, or you didn't have any money in the stock market before it skyrocketed, what are some of the other alternatives at this point? I'm thinking I've already done called my legislators, congressmen, senators, and put a bug in their ear about what we should be doing. And I hope others have already made those calls, especially now, to let their interests be known. And then line some people up to run for office in 2025. There's going to be a lot of openings in 2025. I'm going to go out and venture to say there's going to be a bunch of openings in here. I'm talking about in the political positions in the state of Texas, because you're going to see some people, I'm not going to name who, in Texas that are going to be going to Washington, D.C. There's going to be some openings.
Yeah.
No, I hope it's a good thing, and I hope it's the for the benefit of our people that want to grow, people that want to do things right. I notice, every time it's always something. It's like always a violent side from the other side, but that comes from when you have a leader that's violent like that just does violent things. But I never noticed that from like basically the Democratic side. And that's what I'm hearing too, that they need to be much more firmer, per se. They need to be more stern. They need to stand up even more. That's what was mentioned to me. And hopefully we'll get the right people in place that won't be afraid and won't back down, because when you're sick and tired, you're sick and tired. And you want the things to work for the people. When I got that one call of it's an elderly lady, and she said, Veronica, what am I gonna do? She said, what am I gonna do? My Social Security. And I saw that's what he said he's gonna. I said, don't even set your mind there. That's not even, because one thing about it, we have to stay connected in the groups that we are in. We have to stay connected one to each other, so that in case we have to help the other one up,
Right.
if need to be, we have to stay connected. And she was just so upset, and it's like I'm just literally trying to just calm her down, because she knew there's so many people, you'll be surprised, that didn't even know about Project 2025. They didn't know. There was God, what's the name? Kennel. I don't know. On the show, what they did, they went out and interviewed. They interviewed people. They said, this is January, this is November 6th. This is November 6th. Are you going to get out there and go vote? And then they said, oh, yeah, we're going to go vote. It's November 6th. Voting's already over with. They were asking a lot of people. They said, oh, are you going to go? Who are you going to vote for? It's November 6th. Who are you going to vote for? Are you going to go cast your vote today? They said, oh, yeah, I'm voting for Kamala Harris and all this. I said, oh my God, you mean to tell me these people didn't even vote?
Yeah.
These people didn't even vote. And it was, I mean, it was quite a bit of them. I'm going to send you it. I forgot his name. I'm going to send you the video and you guys will see. You guys are going to see.
Yeah.
You're going to say, oh my God. They sit up there and lie like they're going to go vote. And voting's already over with. I was really surprised at that. But even when I'm teaching, I see something that I need to even do better. And I'm going to have to add it to when I'm my economic empowerment, since, I'm on that side of the ring. When I'm teaching that and building the people, I'm going to have to add in just the structure of the political side so people will be aware. I can make them more aware because I don't talk about the three, offices that there are, the executive branches, the three branches in the legislative branch and the judicial branch. I don't never talk about that. I don't never, they don't know it. They don't know it. So that's something that I have to do to make them aware, because the more people that I'm in contact and the more people, I have all this, people that I'm connected to, that's one thing I'm going to have to make clear and make sure they have a clear understanding and how they have to vote down the entire ballot and not just vote for the president, because it's so important to vote all the way down the ballot. So those things are going to be added into, my actual training in the curriculum when I'm teaching them on how to create the wealth and build the wealth off of, I might have to write even another book just to make sure,
Another 2 books.
they know. Yeah, I know.
said too.
Like,
So I gotta say something. This has been on my mind since the election and the results came in. I'm up here watching people all worried what's going to happen. I'm part of that watching because I want to know. But we got to remember one thing. Let them fight it out in Washington. We need to worry about our local people here. We need to start extending things out to the locals here, because we get the money from them. It trickles down to if it ever gets to us. We have to learn how to survive ourselves. And we need to bring the village back. We need to let everybody know, because I remember there were times we had parties, we didn't know what a barbecue was. And we find out the barbecue is for raising money for somebody to pay rent, to pay their electric bill. We did things back then. We're going to have to fall back on that village again, because if we rely on Washington to solve our problems, it won't get solved. Sometimes we have to do things ourselves, and that's where we need together and leave all this political stuff to the side and look at each other as human beings. What can I do to help you?
exactly. And that's one of the things I had, because they were asking me, what do we do next? And for me, for our community, as a Black community, and since I know, because I always talk in this area, this is a area that I know, since we have $1.7 trillion in spending power, maybe we just need to yank our dollars out of that and start building even in our own, what you said, the village, and just really support that. It'll help you save money, because I know it works, because when I was, Dr. Claude Anderson and Dr. Boyce Watkins, when in the Black Business School, I remember when they had said, okay, you guys, we got to come together because there was banks out there that been waiting around for us since 1937. And I said, oh my God, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked us to go and just open up a bank account with a black owned bank. And I we did that. But some of those banks were making something like $10,000, you know, just to keep standing.
Yeah.
After we did this, and I think the other guy's name was uh he had I can't think of the other guy, Killer Mike or something, like some name like that. But anyway, when we all got together, we did it. It actually worked because these other banks, they were making $10 million. It went up, and they were able, see, they're able to give people loans, they're able to help, and things like that. But I really did not know that they were waiting on us like that. And these banks been there since 1937, and
Mm-hmm.
they're owned by, they're black owned banks because everybody was going to the other banks. So I know when we come together, I know that just to protect and just build up, I know that it works. I was when with black women, when I was one of the 44,000 people that was on the call. I mean, it was so much money raised in a matter of hours. It was 1.5 million. So Sunday when we were on a call, and I'm telling you guys this for a reason because I know it works. They said, I hope we can get to 3 million, so because we actually support the political parties in every area that we can, every whatever state they're in, whatever we try to support. And so her name is Jateka Edie. Oh, I just love this lady. She's so brilliant. When she built this coalition, Win with Black Women, she said, I wish we could get to at least 3 million. And it was at 2 million and something. You won't believe what happened. This lady said, if each one of us give $20 that's on the call, because there's so many people on the call, on the Zoom call. She said, if we just give $20 a piece, we could get up to 3 million.
Mm.
Let me tell you what happened in 45 minutes. It went up to almost $4 million. It was
Wow.
3,000,009 something. I don't know the exact number. And this is because we came together. And we're coming together to build and to help one another because we want everybody to succeed. They may not want it, where they're at now, whoever's in the position at the White House. They may not want it, but I know for us, when we come together, we can build together and strengthen one another so that not one of us will suffer, just like God, what's the woman's name? She did not leave one behind. Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
She risked her life
Several
just to
times.
get
Yes.
everyone. We don't want to leave nobody behind. And so I think of it like that, because Harriet Tubman, that was one, that's a great one for me. But that's how the next step, that's what we can do. Because, I buy a lot. I've been for many, over 10 years,
Yeah.
you know, you know, paper towels, toilet paper, detergent, all these things like that. I already do, but that's one thing for, I'm just talking about our community, because I know a lot of other communities, whether they're Hispanic or Latino, they work together and they build their community. The Asian, they work together to build their community. And when I have been teaching, and training people so long, in every area, whether it was, Asian, from different backgrounds, I have, taught them, but I saw that they stick with their own.
Yes.
I could be in a group of different culture people, and I see they walk and they stick closer to their own.
Well, you mentioned a lot of good things, and you're right. If you put those together, Dr. Claude Anderson, we had him in Austin some years ago. If you follow the blueprint and the map that he lays out, it's very, very powerful.
Yes.
So you're right there, Dr. Brooks.
I think it was black labor, black labor,
Black labor
wealth,
wealth. Yeah, that
white
was.
wealth, black labor. So yeah, that book was, I still look at that too, because that was really good. And
Yeah.
then the economic one too is good.
And the other thing, I had somebody come up to me just yesterday. George, I'm going to run for school board. Somebody said, well, George, there's a city council position coming open. Those are things that are going to be here like next month or January anyway.
Yeah.
So if they're really, really, really sincere about making a difference and getting into where they can affect multitudes of people, not leave anyone behind, they need to look at some of those positions and what's coming up. Get those maps showing where different districts are, where you live in which district.
Mm-hmm.
The things we can do. Well, today's Friday, but you can sure do Monday.
That's right.
So get to stepping, I say.
Yeah, so where do we go look up that stuff at where you said just pull up your district and just look in those areas?
Well, you can surely do it easily by phone. Technology is something that, especially, I'm talking about all of us, but as we get into the older ages, technology becomes more challenging for us. But you can do it on the computer. It's not there. You can go directly up to City Hall. And New Braunfels, for us, it's easy because we're a small town. But the information's all there in City Hall.
Okay. Now, since you brought that up, isn't something you want to share with us, Mr. Green?
Yeah, I want to wish everyone a very.
No, I'm reading something in here. Is this right? About you running for office?
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah, sure. I'm going to run for office. Yes, sir.
I got it right here. Is this right for precinct 3?
No.
I see something in here with your picture and name on it.
That is old.
Ooh, it popped up brand new with us on here on Texas in Color. It just showed up in Texas in Color.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well.
Oh, you are gonna, awesome job. Awesome job. I gotta go look at everything to see what's in
I
there.
don't know. Is it an old one or what, Mr. Green?
It's an old one.
Okay. I don't know
Yes.
how it just showed up because we've been talking all these months and you never said anything. I thought maybe this was a surprise.
That is an old one.
Okay.
But you're gonna be running. I can see you're in your face, right?
Yeah. Me and him talked earlier a while back, and I asked him, "When you gonna run?" He said, "I haven't made up my mind yet."
Oh, come on, do it.
Well, I've been preaching it, and I'm going to do it. We're
Good.
just see where these positions are going to come open. I mentioned that Texas is going to have a lot of positions open here in this next year, and so there'll be some opportunity somewhere. So yeah.
So let me
I'm
ask you
gonna go
something.
look because I gotta figure out where I'm gonna be at because
I got as Mayor
stuff.
Veronica. Don't worry about it. We got you covered.
Good.
I gotta be in the right place. I gotta be in the right
So
place.
Mr. Green, when you're saying that there's going to be some things open, depends on where at in Texas. But if they're open, will there be a special election, or will our government appoint somebody to that post until election comes up?
It depends upon the position.
Okay.
Let's just take the governor for instance. Okay, uh, the governor goes off to higher and bigger and better things. It says, then it's a natural role for the lieutenant governor to fall into that position. Then they run once that term is up. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. But who's going to take the spot of lieutenant governor? He's going to appoint somebody.
Well, there's a role there too, and I don't want to say who, but yes,
Yeah.
there's a
Okay.
role there. There's a process.
All right. Now, speaking about process, I'm going to bring this up. Now, we know the first 4 years when Donald Trump was president, he fired more people than he hired. Every time you look around, somebody was fired.
I know.
How is he
Yeah.
going to deal with this new group right now? Rumors are going out that Kennedy and what's the guy with all the money?
Must
They may be there temporarily for
Yeah,
this.
Elon Musk, he
Yeah,
already appointed, it was a speech. He already
right. See,
appointed them
what's going to
already.
happen when they go sideways with him? Because he's very thin-skinned. He'll fire you in a minute. So how many people we going to have through the revolving door this time around? I'm just speculating. And if it goes by his last term when he was in office, quite a few went through that revolving door.
well, there's quite a few that will go through it again. I think people know when they go in, especially with him, that it's not going to be a long term deal. Most of them know it's going to be a short lived experience and position, so they're prepared for that. So you go in taking your chances, knowing you're not going to get retirement when you leave there. So
Yes.
that's what I think. They're ready for it.
Oh wow, that's got to be some. Now it's another thing that I want to talk to you about with Dr. Brooks. Um, One thing that I noticed, what was ran on this, well, it was fear, phobia, and greed. We had all three of those. Calling the United States a garbage dump. He's working on the fear. And the phobia part of it, he wants everybody to believe that he's right on what he's saying. And you know the greed part. This is the first time we had somebody run for president that was peddling watches, playing cards, all that stuff. He's doing anything to make money. So
Yeah, it
I,
doesn't
I,
make
yeah,
sense.
I always thought when you hold a higher standard, a higher office, you're supposed to relinquish all that. And I guarantee his watch is gonna go flying off the wall right now, and everything else because he's president right now. He's making a profit on the presidency, which I got a problem with that.
Yeah, and his watches are made from China actually, but they're selling for $100,000. But um, yeah, you're right. The fear, the phobia, and the greed. But that's what he likes for people to make him think like he's one, you gotta fear him. But I'm not. If I ever run into him, he'll probably get a mouthful because I won't tolerate it. But the thing is, when he said that he was going to protect women, did you guys hear that part?
Mm-hmm.
He said, whether they like it or not. So what does that tell me? You're a rapist. What are you really saying? What is really going on there? Whether I like it or not? It's just it's a lot of things there that and yes, there's a lot of people that are actually they fear, and I don't want them to fear. I need them actually to come bolder. I was, boy, if I could have just went up there when I was like, what in the world is this? I just like literally went off. But we are not to fear. And you know that saying, fear is false evidence appearing real anyway. You guys got to watch that Apprentice. I want you guys to watch that. You guys are going to be in, yeah,
Is that gonna
because
be our homework
you'll
assignment for
see,
this
you'll
weekend?
understand it. You'll understand why he's like he is and why the psychologist had said that his mind, he actually thinks that he's in this world of that he's created. What you said earlier, Mr. Green, that that's what he actually thinks. He thinks that it's a corporation that he controls. He actually thinks this, that it's him that they have to bow down to. But when it comes to us, and I'm sure he probably gonna try to come after us as black women, but we fight. We're fighters, and we're not gonna put up with a lot of things because we're sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'm so grateful for you men, the men. It was a lot of black men that had sent out videos to black women and told us just rest and told us how much and how grateful and how appreciative and just giving us so much encouraging words because they knew how we felt. I thank the men for all that. You know, just we have good men everywhere, but I'm grateful for that.
Yeah.
But
Well,
he's gonna create that thing like it because a corporation that he I don't. Okay, wait a minute. So his corporations, which they all fail. See, another thing comes to mind. They all fail. He's filed bankruptcy 6 times. He's not a good businessman. He's a good con artist, but he didn't pay a lot of people that work for him. He never paid them. He just said all this stuff with the fluff. He's good at that. That's one thing he's good at is 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 conning people, tricking people, not paying people, telling them to do this. Oh, I'll pay you late and doesn't and don't pay. So it's so many things that yeah, America doesn't want that. They cannot want that unless America's just like him. I don't know.
well, we got 4 years to find out how this is gonna play out. You know.
But then you don't know, okay, Ron, what about the 4 years in the if you really go through Project 2025 and then what he even said, because he said nobody will ever have to vote anymore because he's gonna be in office. He
Now,
said it's
now,
like you're gonna, like the king in Bahrain, they do
right?
it for a lifetime.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it like that. And oh God, it's just so much. I have so much. I mean, I probably have to talk to you guys offline because it's so much that I know from living in all the different countries and just being with, how they run those countries. It's just so much. But yeah, it's his character is just not a good.
Yeah.
Well, I pray that we continue to study the election that we had in the United States because there's a lot that we can learn from the experience we just had. And we may not ever, in my lifetime, get this opportunity again.
Mm,
And so I pray that we learn and teach and pass on to our grandchildren and so on and so forth. Because it was a Kodak moment and we need to study it.
mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Amen
Okay.
to that.
Yes, I
All
agree
right,
with that.
everybody. That is our hour, man.
Yeah.
Golly.
It already went by.
It
I think
already it
I have
already
to let
went
out.
by. And I
Oh
didn't
my
mess with the
God.
clock, Veronica. This is for real.
Yeah, I probably needed this to even release even more because
Yeah. So,
I
but
don't
we're
know.
gonna continue doing what we're doing. We're gonna do Mr. Green. Veronica gave us some homework. We need to watch that movie. And,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and the other
You gotta
homework, we
watch it.
we need to look at the new legislation that's going to be coming out in January. We need to get fixated on that and find out what we could do, what we need to do, or what's important that's coming up, so we could address that and educate the people on it. So they need to know what's going to be voted on, because we really want to know what Texas direction is going.
Yes, correct.
And
Yeah.
stuff. So
Education is gone, man.
no, it's
Wow.
it's just back there. We got to bring it back to the forefront.
Hmm.
That's what we need to do.
Yes.
All right,
Not me.
everybody. I appreciate everybody coming on, and we will
Yes.
talk to everybody next week.
Okay.
All right.
All right. See you guys.
Talk
All right.
to you
Thank
later.
you. See you.
Okay. Bye bye.
Okay. Okay.
All right, everybody. Texas in Color. That was with Dr. Veronica Brooks and George Green. I'm Ronald Gordon. Everybody have a blessed weekend, and throw something on the grill today or this weekend. This is Ron G on Texas in Color. We're talking.